Meanwhile, you know, Atlantic City, late night, Saturday night crowd. Sold out doesn't necessarily mean best crowd. Matter of fact, I would say it was one of the worst crowds of it. Because they were fucking lit up and just boxed up and ready to fucking go. So the host is on stage, and the host is doing his fucking thing, and he's talking to people and stuff like that. And this is like early into a set, and people are being like already rowdy. Like you can tell there's pockets of people not listening. He's trying to like shape them up, and he's trying to get into his act or whatever. And he fucking
and there's let's explain the stage, because the stage, the whole, there are actual stripper poles on the bar at each end, and splitting the difference right in the middle is this thin, like almost landing strip of stage, where it is relatively daunting because it's made out of two pieces, so it's not completely level. It like comes together at a bit of a point, so you're almost
plywood.
And you're like kind of like feeling your way around, and like and it's always in the back of your head.
And it's a movable stage. The second the show's over, they pull the whole stage away,
split it, and then
so
pull it.
So then the comic's on stage, and he's kind of doing his thing, and then at one point he just turns to do an act out. And he fucking takes a step. He turned his back to the audience, takes a step backwards. Part of the stage breaks in pieces. Broke like in shambles.
Oh my God.
Like an earthquake. And a piece of it fragmented off. But he also took a step too far back, too close to the edge. And between that and the stage breaking, this man rolls his ankle and falls backwards off the stage, which I want to point out is at least 4 feet high, maybe 5.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 5 foot high thing. So he falls 5 feet into the front row, lands on like his backside area, like
on
whack,
people.
Whack!
Like Dennis Rodman trying to dive into the crowd to save a ball.
Yeah, like literally lands on people. Everyone goes like, oh my God. Like everyone is terrified. Everyone's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like people are freaking out. And here's the thing. This is what he does. And
oh my God, your breath.
Yeah, he's dead. So people go, people go, I don't know what the fuck. So everyone's like worried, like, oh my God, this obviously clearly isn't part of the show. And like he tries to recover by saying one of the craziest things, which there's no way it could have ever gotten a laugh except in retrospect, but he falls off, and after he lands and everyone's like, oh my God, he just goes, clap it up for the stage, everybody. One of the greatest lines. And then tried to just finish the bit.
Why wouldn't he?
And was like, anyway, so Netflix is crazy.
Well, he's holding his side.
Yeah, he's bleeding. He's literally bleeding in multiple places. He's bleeding, and he just goes like,
I would not trust his blood either.
Yeah, so he's like, yeah.
And also, it's Atlantic City. Somebody else has an open wound in that audience.
So they're like, it's pretty crazy, huh? And so he goes back into the bit, which is like, if there's one rule of comedy, it's once your bit gets disturbed, as Seinfeld has said one time.
For the stage!
Yeah, as Seinfeld has said one time before, or many times, I guess, is that the comedy is like a moving train. It's like once it's over, you can't fucking get back on it. So he tried to finish the thing. It didn't go well. People are kind of like half being like, why aren't you addressing what just happened? Other half of the people are shit-faced and being like, did you just fall off the stage?
That's been the best bit all night.
And instead of doing what probably would have been, in this instance, especially for Atlantic City, a good thing to do, a self-deprecating thing to be like, I'm a piece of shit, I fucking clumsy me.
Right.
Instead, he goes the exact opposite, which is like visceral anger and just being like,
yes!
Like sat Indian style on the stage being like, oh, you got a fucking problem, man? What are you, off your fucking med? You're gonna fucking heckle me?
He was yelling at somebody?
Was yelling at everybody, but also specifically somebody.
Holy
was screaming. This is 6 minutes into the show. So I mean, he is screaming at somebody.
6 minutes in, let's recap briefly.
Yeah.
6 minutes in, this man hurls himself off stage, hits patrons of the bar,
and the ground.
Doesn't apologize, doesn't say anything. Are you all right?
He might have asked if they were okay. He might have asked.
But then says, give it up for the stage, goes back up, immediately sits down, and then berates the crowd.
And somebody, to his credit, one person was definitely heckling him, but I think again...
They heckled him after that? Like, what type of lack of humanity must you have to be like, this guy just took a fucking swan dive into the front row while bombing before that?
I would almost give more credit to the host for being like, he was definitely kind of getting shit on, but like, again, because I think he was probably just very embarrassed.
Oh, I would have went straight to fists. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying it's hilarious.
No, but also, yeah, I think he was.
If anybody mocked me for that, I would have just fucking crowd surfed.
They were mocking him because he didn't admit it. You know what I mean? Because he tried to play it off like that was part of the act out. Where it's like, dude, you just tumbled. You know what I mean? Like, you just fucking fell. You did a rockin' skyscraper move.
That is so good.
This guy is
What a
just
great
fucking.
movie,
So now he is fucking. You know, he's yelling at people. It's not a good start to a show. And then they're just like, you know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, and brings up the first comic, and she's just like, gonna try and survive it, and now she's getting heckled by multiple people. God. The audience is fractured. People are like, this isn't a real show. Like, people are starting to like worry about the fucking things. And then I go up afterwards and I'm trying to like, it's like herding cats.
You have to be a principal at that point. You're like, ladies and gentlemen, please, let's get on the same fucking page. We're here to have a good time. Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. So I go on stage now, and I'm like,
commanding voice.
I'm trying to fucking like wrangle these people together, and I'm like a minute into my set, and like halfway back into the room, there's kind of like a mezzanine area where it's 4 steps to get up to there, and I'm like in the middle of telling a joke, and I see out of the corner of my eye just like. And I look over, and like somebody fell down the 4 stairs because they were shit. It was this woman. She was shit-faced. Fell down the 4 stairs, and everyone's like, ah! And starts pointing at that.
Now that's comedy.
That's when you want to make your Irish goodbye.